Thank you and welcome to Disavowed. I'm your always gracious and humble host, the one and only Bebo the Great. I come to you today with a story of unity. Yes, it is true. America can finally unite again. We are no longer the divided states of America. We are united now that we have got rid of the evil dictator Donald Trump. Former presidents Obama, Bush, Clinton volunteer to get coronavirus vaccine publicly to prove it's safe. Former presidents Barack Obama, George W. Bush, and Bill Clinton are volunteering to get coronavirus vaccines on camera to promote public confidence in the vaccine's safety once the U.S. Food and Drug Administration authorizes one. The three most recent former presidents open awareness campaign to promote confidence in its safety and effectiveness would be a powerful message as American public health officials try to convince the public to take the vaccine. Freddie Ford, Bush's chief of staff, told CNN that the 43rd president had reached out to Dr. Anthony Fauci, the director of National Institutes of Allergy and Infectious Diseases, the nation's top infectious disease expert, and Dr. Deborah Bricks, the White House coronavirus response coordinator, to see how he could help promote the vaccine. A few weeks ago, President Bush asked me to let Dr. Fauci and Dr. Bricks know that when the time is right, he wants to do what he can do to help encourage his fellow citizens to get vaccinated, Ford told CNN. First, the vaccine needs to be deemed safe and administered to the priority populations. Then, President Bush will get in line for his and will gladly do so on camera. Clinton's press secretary told CNN on Wednesday that he would be willing to take the vaccine in a public setting in order to promote it also. President Clinton will definitely take a vaccine as soon as it is available to him. Besides, based on the priorities determined by public health officials, and he will do it in a public setting if it will help urge all Americans to do the same. Obama said in an interview with Sirius radio host Joe Madison, scheduled to air Thursday, that's today, said that if Fauci said a coronavirus vaccine is safe, he believes him. Now here we go with that interview. Please enjoy.
And you talk about, that every job has its surprises, and one of the surprises was the outbreak of the H1N1
H1N1.
flu. And
Right.
you write in the book how you were familiar with it. It scared you, as you said, it scared you to death because you were familiar with the Spanish flu epidemic.
Right.
And you write in detail what you had to do with the World Health Organization, the Center of Disease Control. It's a two-part question. One, did you were you vaccinated when it became time for the H1N1 flu, the virus? And part two, a lot of discussion on my show about particularly whether African Americans, because you know our history with medical
Of course.
experimentation, uh, would you take the vaccine for
Well,
the
I
COVID
mean,
19?
a couple things. H1N1, we were lucky um, that it was not as contagious, and it turned out not to be as deadly as we thought it was, or as COVID is. I'm still very proud of all the work we did around it, and it actually laid the foundation for us creating a pandemic playbook that helped us deal with Ebola when that came up, and that, by the way, we gave a whole blueprint to the Trump administration in terms of how they should deal with this and early warning systems, et cetera, that they completely ignored. So we did not end up having a widespread vaccination program for H1N1 just because we were able to stop it relatively early. In terms of COVID now,
yes,
obviously, at the end of the day, one of the great things about having Joe Biden and Kamala Harris back in charge, on January 20th, is they will also then put scientists and medical experts in charge. And people like Anthony Fauci, who I know and I've worked with, I trust completely. So if Anthony Fauci tells me this vaccine is safe and can vaccinate, immunize you from getting COVID, absolutely I'm going to take it. And I understand, historically, everything dating back all the way to the Tuskegee experiments and so forth, why the African American community would have some skepticism. But the fact of the matter is that vaccines are why we don't have polio anymore, and they're the reason why we don't have a whole bunch of kids dying from measles and smallpox and diseases that used to decimate in entire populations and communities. So, I think it is important for people to follow the guidelines that are going to be issued. I anticipate that the vaccines will be first made available to people who are at highest risk. And if you are in that category, if you are elderly, if you've got a pre-existing condition, if you're a frontline worker, if you're a medical worker, if you are in a grocery store, if you're a first responder, you should take that vaccine. And I promise you that when it's then made for people who are less at risk, I will be taking it, and I may end up taking it on TV or having it filmed just so that people know that I trust this science.
Okay.
And what I don't trust is getting COVID, because
right.
we don't
know how. That's right. Yeah.
I think at this point, particularly in the African American community, we are, African Americans, Hispanics, Native Americans, we have the highest death rates from this thing.
Yeah.
And are most exposed and most vulnerable, in part because we have a lot of pre-existing conditions.
There you have it. If the three former presidents of the United States are going to get the shot, I will be first in line at my CVS when they release it to the general public. And also, I'm glad to see that former President Obama has finally come along and is now a conspiracy theorist, also mentioning the Tuskegee experiment. Oh, maybe that isn't a conspiracy because it happened to black people. That's not a conspiracy theory. That really happened because everything that was perpetuated against blacks is true. But if it's happening to any other segment of the population, it's a conspiracy theory. CNN has also reached out to representatives of former President Jimmy Carter, got to get another guy in on the mix, to see if he'd be willing to take the vaccine publicly as well. The Bush family has a history of banding together with other presidents to promote major causes. Bush's father and mother, the late former President George H.W. Bush and Barbara Bush, took a commercial flight in the days after September 11th terrorist attacks to promote confidence in flying again. George H.W. Bush and Clinton worked together on fundraising for areas struck by Hurricane Katrina in 2005 and other charitable causes in the years after their presidencies. Obama now aims to use his post presidency perch for public awareness. Yes, he's going to start coming. We're going to see so much of him now that uh, President Biden's in there. Man, unity. We're all going to get together and sing Kumbaya now. Look at all the former presidents getting together. They finally got that evil Trump out of the way. Now we can have peace. You guys all get in line now. All the former presidents are getting their shots. All you dolts, go out there and go get the shot. Even though like 87% of all the deaths are people 60 years old and above. But the Chinese will appreciate you buying their vaccines. You don't even buy it really. The government buys it. They're gonna give it all to you guys for free. the the African American community, when it first came out, Bill Gates said we gotta give it to the blacks and the African Americans first. And then there was backlash on it, and now they've convinced you that you guys are the most affected by it. Now you guys got Obama out here saying to go get it. You're going to be the first ones running out to get it. You have all been disavowed.